Hi, my name is Dee Dee Weiman and I'm the assistant softball coach here at Cal State Fullerton. I primarily work with the pitchers and catchers here, and so what we're going to talk about today is pitching. A lot of times when I'm doing camps and clinics and I speak with parents and other coaches, people ask me, how can you increase speed in your pitchers? So today's video is going to specifically touch on the technical aspects of increasing speed in your young pitcher, as well as drills that you can use in your pitching practice to help increase speed for your young pitcher. The first thing I want to touch on though is good mechanics. There are a lot of little sloppy mechanical type things that can cause you to lose speed. So I want to talk about just basic overall mechanical stuff that we can do to try to increase our speed right off the bat, and then we'll go into other things we can do for speed. The first thing you want to pay attention to mechanically for a pitcher is what's your pre-pitch motion? What are you doing in your pre-pitch to try to get momentum started in your pitch, okay? So what I like to see, and I'll just talk basically about what you work with your pitchers, and every pitcher is going to kind of manifest this a little bit differently, so everybody will look different. I'll have two pitchers here demonstrating this today. So what you want to do is make sure that you're nice and balanced on your mound, your feet a little bit further than shoulders distance apart, and that you're in some way, shape, or form shifting your weight from your front side to your back side and getting your arms going. So you want to have this back toe up, you're shifting your weight from the back side to the front side, and you have a little bit of a drag through with your foot. What this is going to do is it's going to get you up on this toe so that as you go to push out, you're driving on this toe. Okay, so one way to really work on good speed is make sure you're in balanced position. Make sure we're shifting weight so that as we go to throw, we have a good push off, good balanced push off foot, and our foot's slightly turned so we can pivot open in the middle of our pitch. Okay, so watch your pitcher to see what her pre-pitch stance is on the mound, that she's shifting weight, she's getting up on this toe from here. Now we're going to work on really getting this leg bent and the upper body starting to drive forward, and we're swinging the arms out and getting this leg up. Okay, so you have two different parts of your body that you're going to pay attention to mechanically. You're going to pay attention to your legs, and you're going to pay attention to your torso and your arms, your lower body and your upper body. Okay, what your lower body can do for you mechanically to increase speed is stay balanced. You can get good push off with your legs. You want to take a nice long stride. Okay, so you have a nice aggressive stride towards home plate, and that you have a good drag and kick forward, so you're bringing it forward. I like to equate it for the younger girls like a slinky. You want to drive the front side out, and the back side's got to quickly come through so that all your speed and energy are going towards your catcher. Okay, those are the things that the lower body can do for you mechanically to help increase speed. The upper body, what the upper body is going to do for you is you're going to really work on, most importantly, having a good whip, meaning your arm is loose at the shoulder and the bicep, and you're whipping the arm around, and then you're going to have a good snap, which means good forearm strength, good wrist strength, and good finger strength at the bottom. Okay, so you want to have a good quick whip, meaning quick arm speed, and good snap at the bottom. Okay, if you have good drive with your legs, good whip at the top, you get those hips open so your arm can get through an open path. The back side drives through, and you have good timing on your turn. You have all those together mechanically, you should be in good shape to throw a good hard pitch. Okay, so we're going to talk about right now some warm-up drills you can do to work on wrist snap, whip of your arm, legs, all that. The first drill you're going to see these two pitchers doing is, number one, it's with the weighted ball. Okay, it's a weighted ball by Shutt. It's two-tone, which helps you to see the rotation on the ball. Okay, basically what they're doing is they're walking into a half swing drill, so they're working on the timing of their lower body and their upper body. Okay, as they walk in, leg up, arms are even, plant, arm comes through, and working on a nice short snap and a drag. Okay, and they're basically working on wrist snap. Like we said, wrist snap and forearm strength and loose arm. They're working on the mechanics of that, and with the weighted ball, they're strengthening at the same time. So it's kind of working on two different things at the same time. So this is a good drill right here, right off the bat, to work on speed. I really like for the pitchers to use the weighted ball in their warm-up drills. I think that alone will help them work on speed just by strengthening their fingers and their wrist snaps and their forearms. It also can help keep the arm feel loose as the weight of the ball pulls the arm around. Okay. Also, you notice they're both working on pivoting that back toe, which helps get their hips open. And that's one way to lose speed in your pitcher, is not getting the hips open. So you really want to work, pivot on that back toe, get the legs up and out, using the legs, pushing towards your catcher with a good drag. The next drill you're going to see is just a progressive drill. Now it's coming all the way around, walking into the pitch with the weighted ball. They're going to work on still getting pivoted at the top, getting the leg up, striding out with a good stride, and also then dragging that back foot. Okay? These are all excellent warm-up drills, and it helps to form a very good routine for your pitcher, okay, which helps with the mental game. You want to make sure that as the pitcher's throwing, that she tries to keep the ball around the chest area or to the waist. You don't want them to be releasing the ball up too high. And also pay attention to the rotation on the ball. One thing that I want to make mention of that you can notice both of our pitchers are doing, if you have a young pitcher and she really doesn't have very good wrist snap, okay, and wrist snap is the key to getting good speed, which means getting a good rotation on the ball. Besides just doing the drills where she's working on wrist snap or warming up short, just working on wrist snap, kind of like what we showed, you can also talk about two things with her in her pre-pitch motion to help that, okay? So one of them, as she's gripping the ball, on the seams, on the C, and she's working middle finger in the middle of the stripe, okay, so we can get 12-to-6 rotation on the ball, okay. When she's back on her backswing, you can also kind of start the wrist snap going by bending the wrist a little bit, not a lot, but a little bend back, so as you come up here, then you can pop the wrist open and then work on full rotation at the bottom. Really pay attention to, are your pitchers coming through with the palm of the hand leading so they can get a full snap with their hand. You may see a lot of pitchers that only get half a snap. So you want to make sure your pitcher gets in tight with this arm, brushes right here into the thigh, and gets a full snap. Okay, a lot of pitchers, you lose them here because they bend. They only get half a snap. They don't get a full snap as the arm gets pinched, snap, and it's a sequential movement. Wrist bends, elbow bends, shoulder. Okay, you don't want it all to happen at once. You got to pay attention to that. Okay, so make sure that you're paying attention, that they're getting a little bit of a wrist bend in here. Pop it open at the top. Okay, the butt of the hand leads, and you get a full snap, nice and tight. The next drill you're going to see is a walk-through drill, meaning we're standing on the mound, we're walking through to our catcher. So we're going to take a step into our pitch. We're doing this with a weighted ball. Now with the weighted ball, you have to be really careful that we're not throwing full out pitches with this. You want to do this at, say, 70-75% and really nice and loose, and work on getting a good snap at the bottom. Doing this like this helps really lengthen the arm and work on a good wrist snap at the bottom. Okay, now that our pitcher is warmed up with the weighted ball, she threw probably 20-25 of the first drill, half distance, about the same of the second drill all the way around, 3/4 distance, and then she did the walkthroughs about 10 or 15 from the mound. Now she's going to do the same thing the walkthrough from the mound with the regular ball. We're going to do 5 to 7 of these to get loose. Then we're going to put a cone down so we can really work on getting her legs up and out, and we're really starting to incorporate the legs a little bit more to get speed. Okay, right now she's just working mechanics. Loose arm, timing her upper body and her lower body, getting the front side down, getting a good short snap, and a good kick with that back side. One thing that you can look for here with your pitcher is draw a straight line from the middle of the plate and make sure that her front foot is stepping at a 45-degree angle on that line. Okay, that's going to tell you everything about what her hips are doing, and if her hips are in the way, we're going to lose speed. So if she's got a straight step, a lot of times her hips are turned and we're getting caught at her hip right here. So we want to make sure we're stepping and we're getting a drag that comes out as the arm's coming through and snapping. We're dragging, and then we're going to see a pivot and a turn and a plant. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to add a cone on. Okay, and you can do 2 things with a cone. You can put the cone right here at the tip of her drag so she can get her leg up early. Okay, and we'll show that first. Okay, and you may notice right away your pitcher starts to throw harder doing this. A lot of young pitchers don't really lift that left leg up. So what we're really doing is really pushing and leaping out. Okay, watch for pitchers that want to crow hop, which means as they get to lift over, they're going to replant. You can't have 2 feet off the ground. You got to make sure that after you plant here, you still have that back foot on the mound so you can drag forward. So watch for the crow hop as we're working on getting over the cone. Okay, and watch to make sure that the upper body weight isn't back. All the body weight needs to be forward and standing up into that front resistant leg. The second purpose of the cone would be if your pitchers are not getting the distance in their legs, so you can push it out. So you can have 2 cones, 1 cone here, 1 there, and you're going to really work on making sure they lengthen their legs out on their stride. Okay, and you want to make sure it's long enough to where that they're not stretching out and looking uncomfortable. But as a young pitcher will first try this, a lot of times they don't know to bring this back leg through, and it'll look really awkward. You got to make sure as they push out, they've got to think about bringing the back leg through and getting a good drag in. Think of it like a slinky. Front leg out, back leg through. Here we go. Good, and it helps them get all that weight going forward towards their catcher. Good. Our pitcher is going to now demonstrate the sideways drive drill. What you're going to do is you're going to set yourself with your hips open like we're a door. Okay, there she is on her power line, and she's going to work really shifting her weight onto the back leg, getting that front knee up, and then driving towards her catcher. This is a great drill to work on getting speed. You can do it from just a few feet short of the mound. She's going to do some, and then she's going to do some from the mound, and you can really start your pitcher off doing 10, 15, 20 of these depending on the age and what kind of shape she's in. Okay, this is really a good way to get her backside driving, getting that front leg up, and really getting a long stride. Making sure that her upper body weight isn't back as she's doing this. Okay, she can also do this with the cone in front of her if she really needs something to remind her to get her legs up. Okay, so she's going to demonstrate one more from that distance as a way to get loose, and then she's going to come back and do the same thing off the mound so she can use the mound for push. There we go. Better adjustment with your snap. Watch your upper body. Keep it coming forward. Good. Excellent. Okay. From here, our pitcher is going to take 3 to 4 giant steps back behind the mound, and we're going to do this as a little bit more of a distance drill, paying attention to a long stride. She's going to do 2 or 3 from this distance, 2 or 3 from a little further, and then 2 or 3 from almost to second base. Really, the goal of this drill too is to get her legs moving as much as we possibly can. The further back we go, the more she's got to use the legs, the more she's got to bring the backside through. Okay, so we're really pushing legs to get speed here and timing of the arm. Okay, so then she's going to do that, take a couple steps back, do a couple from this distance. Okay, still trying to throw a good hard strike. We don't want to have any loop on the ball. It's going to be straight to the catcher in the chest. Okay, and then finally she's going to take a little bit longer back. Good. Okay. You can do that drill where she's going all the way back to almost second base, but you don't want to do it much further than that because as they get further back, you may have a little bit more of an arc on it. We don't want arc on this. We're trying to get it short and snappy in by the hip. Okay, so that drill you can start short and you can go to the mound, and that you can use it for that, or if you want to do it a little bit more of a distance drill to really get your legs going, you can do that, and you can use the cone at any one of these distances. This next drill is a leg drive drill as well. The only difference is we're more simulating the actual pitch from the mound. So she's pretty much set like she would be as she's going to go on the mound, and then she's going to lift her front leg up. Okay, and then we're going to really work on from this position with the knee up, driving and pivoting. Okay, here we're kind of cheating the pivot a little bit, but with this one we're going to really work driving and pivoting, and she's actually starting to do this at the mound. You can just do this at the mound. You can also do this with a cone, and she's going to demonstrate it for a few from the mound, and then we're going to work this, and you can do this at distance just like the last drill we did all the way from second base, and you can actually push off of second base doing this drill. Okay, so we're going to let her demonstrate that. Okay, and start to show this as we go back. Okay, and then after about 3 or so pitches, then we're going to go back a little further. Now if you have smaller pitchers, you may not be going back as far as you would with this a more advanced pitcher, but you have to really gauge based on your younger pitchers. Your starting point is obviously going to be closer because a lot of them are throwing from 30, 35, 40 feet. This pitcher is starting her mound from 43, so she's moving back from there. Good. Nice job. Good. The next drill I actually learned about from another pitching coach, John Marzan. He calls these pops. And basically what the gist is she's really trying to generate power from her legs without taking a step and a stride. Okay? So you're going to notice she's going to do this from this distance. Okay? Then we're going to, after she does 2 or 3, maybe up to 5 from this distance, we're going to start increasing our distance to the catcher and working on really pushing off. As she gets a little further back, you may actually see her drag the back leg, but still no step with the front leg. Okay, and then we'll talk about what she's going to do after she's done at distance. Much harder to do this without taking the step. So it's really trying to generate power from the legs and feeling that. Okay, so with a pitcher as advanced as this pitcher, she may be doing this all the way in center field. Pay attention to what age and what size your pitcher is. You may have to adjust to second base as she's little and then working beyond second base. Now this drill, she has a little bit more of an arc on it as she gets further away. Now as your pitcher has reached her furthest distance that she's going to throw this from, she's done her pop, she's probably thrown 30 pitches or less at this point, she's going to do a walkthrough at distance. Now you can do this whole drill as a walkthrough, which we'll demonstrate at the end, but this is, remember, pops where we're not stepping forward with the front leg. So now she's going to do the actual walkthrough from this distance, and we're going to do probably 5 to 10 pitches here, and then we're going to go into the mound and throw some fastballs. From this point, she's going to come in and throw about 10 good hard fastballs from the mound. Watch that their weight isn't falling backwards from trying to get long at their finish. So what's really important to get out of that is those are 4 really good distance drills that you can use to try to increase speed in your pitcher. You may not want to use all of them in their workouts. What I would do is try them and find out which 1 or 2 really work best for you. But any sort of distance will help increase speed in your young pitcher. The next drill, as we spoke about, we did a lot of drills working on legs. Now we're going to work arm speed. The next drill is going to work really specifically arm speed, but keeping in mind working on the legs. So what we're going to do is we're going to alternate our heavy ball and our light ball. You can start off doing 2 heavy, 2 light, 2 heavy, 2 light, or just go 1, 1, 1, 1. Our pitcher here is going to alternate each other. So you need somebody to stand on the side and feed. And she's just going to do a walkthrough from the mound, and we're going to alternate, and you probably want to do about 20 of these with your pitcher, okay? So remember with the heavy ball, we don't want to throw it 100%, but you want to throw it about 80% and really work on a good snap at the bottom. And then when you pick up the regular ball, it's 100%, and you should automatically see a lot better speed coming out of your pitcher. Last set. Okay, so that's the next drill to work on speed. The next speed drill is what we call the bucket drill. You take a bucket of about 20 to 25 balls, and your pitcher is going to do the walkthrough from the mound, and she's going to work me quick feeding her. So she's going to walk through, throw, catcher drops the ball, you feed her. We're going through this as quick as we possibly can, and with between 20 and 30 balls, it should fatigue her. If it doesn't fatigue her once, then you can do it twice through or even 3 times through. So we're just going to do it once to demonstrate. Good. Two more. Good. The one thing that a lot of pitchers say that they like about the bucket drill is if you have pitchers who are perfectionists and they do too much thinking, it forces them to just be physical in their pitching and really make physical adjustments. So really just quick, and keep feeding them, say positive things, give positive encouragement as a coach, and keep them going quick so they don't have too much time to think about what they're doing and be too mechanical, because you can be too mechanical also. This next drill that we're going to do is called the 3-minute drill. it basically is just like the bucket drill, only we're going to do it for a minute on, and then you take a minute break, another minute on, another minute break, another minute on, and then you're done. Okay, so I'm going to feed her still, but she's going to throw as many pitches as she can throw in a minute and then take a minute break. It's doing the walkthrough and throwing as hard as you can. Time. Okay. So as the pitcher demonstrated, she threw as many pitches as she could throw in a minute. You can always time your pitcher or count how many pitches she's throwing actually to see how many she can throw in a minute. And then she'd take a minute break right now, and then she'd come right back in a minute. You say go, and she throws again, another break, and then you do it for a third time. If you have a pitcher who has great stamina, then you can also have her do it for a minute and 15 or even a minute and a half. You can make it a little bit longer. The last thing I want to touch on is a little bit of cross-training information. There's several things you can do off the softball field as well as on the softball field to help increase speed for your pitcher. So let's start from the hands. First of all, you can do a lot of hand squeezing type exercises with a racket ball. I've seen people take rubber bands and work on extending the fingers out. You can do stuff with a stress ball, which you can work on squeezing, increasing the hand strength that you have. I've also seen people take a bucket and have rice in it, and you work on driving the hands down, squeezing and twisting, which works fingers, wrists, hands, forearms. I've seen people do dumbbell exercises with their forearms, either flexion or extension. A lot of stuff like that is excellent to work on that kind of strength besides using the weighted ball that we used here today that was by shut, okay? Also, other cross-training things you can do would be plyometric type stuff for your legs where you're working explosive driving with the legs, box jumps, cone jumps, bounds where you're bounding from one leg to the other in an explosive manner or doing one leg bounds. Okay, anything plyometric like that will be really helpful for your pitcher, as well as sprinting or working stadiums where you're running up the stadium and we're really exploding off these legs like you would do in a pitch to simulate that, and long distance running, which will get your pitcher in shape, which the better shape she is, the more she's going to get out of her pitching exercises. Okay. Also, the next thing I think what's really important would be working on the core strength, which is your torso, working on your abs strength, working on your lower back strength. Anything to strengthen your body overall is going to help you as a pitcher to gain speed, as well as having good mechanics working some of these drills here. I hope this video has helped you with any of the questions you may have about softball skills or drills you can use in practice and how to improve your young softball player. Thank you very much for listening today. Best of luck this year in your season. We'll see you at the ballpark. Keep working hard.